I'm Ayla Love, and I am reading from the Exiting the Matrix Empowered Living Mastery course that I wrote in 2019. And also, I have a revision that I'm actually reading from. I changed the name from Whole Mind, Body, and Spirit Enrichment course to Empowered Living Mastery. And the course actually includes this personality workbook that helps an individual look at themselves. And I'm just going to pull up the chats so that I can see what people are saying. I invite you to share your insight. This is basic information. And I need to mute my computer. Okay, so where was I? So yeah, I would like your feedback. I wrote this course because I healed myself from many traumas. I've been through a lot, and I'm a grandmother, mother, humanitarian. I care about the state of the world, the state of people's conditioning, and to start my transformational journey, well, that's a long story, but I wrote my autobiography in 2015. This actually helped me process everything that had happened to me up to age 45, and that was a lot. That was very healing all by itself, but I didn't feel like it was complete until 2017, after I went 10,000 miles across the country on a self-transformative journey, and that was amazing. Right now, because I have the phone facing me, so that if I hold something up, it's not backward. If I turn it around, this would all be backward. So I'm giving up the fact that I can't see how many people are in here. The only way I know you're in here is if you say hi. So I appreciate you saying hi. And I am sharing my worldview, but I also want your interjection, your questions. And while I'm reading, I'm not going to be paying attention to the chat. Hello, welcome. And just want to make this clear too, is that I wrote all of this with no AI help. Okay, this was all me. And I just want to send some love everywhere, because I know that there are so many people who are suffering and struggling, and I just have so much love for humanity as a whole, and individually, like people. Even if I don't know you, I wish the best for you. And this knowledge that I'm sharing is knowledge that I believe everyone has a right to know. And we already know our educational system ain't doing it. Religious, it don't matter where you go. This information is not readily taught. So with my own children in mind, hello, and friends that I know, and just my love for humanity to rise, this is the foundation of why I'm sharing this. Because when I was like, oh my God, I healed myself, literally. It doesn't mean I don't have problems. It doesn't mean that I don't have traumas. It means that because I healed the past, anything that pops up is so easy, pretty easy. I mean, you get to decide if you want to be stuck. So, and that's coming from someone with I had major depression, post-traumatic stress, low self-esteem, fear, limiting beliefs, panic attacks, reacting, all kinds of things that are out of alignment with who I truly want to be. my ideal self. And then the core inventory, which I created in 2009, like this all started back then. 2009, I created a tool for myself. I'm like, okay, what do I want to work on? And I found 10 things that humans have to work on. Personal, which is like self-love, self-compassion. Mental, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, sexual, relational, behavioral, legal, and financial. And so I just would like sit down and like go, okay, what do I want to, how do I feel about myself? If 10 is my ideal self, where am I at on that? And those numbers have changed. I wish I actually had a notebook from 2009 to now that had them all in the same place, because you would see the variations of, it's literally like, how do I see myself in this moment? And I've had low numbers, I've had high numbers. You know, they can fluctuate because we evolve, we learn, we grow. So right now, in the mental core dimension that we're going to talk about tonight, I'm at a 9 because there's always room to learn. I'm a lifelong learner. But I've done a lot of work to like manage my thoughts and things that I know, and so that's just how I feel about myself. And it's not really, and now you're not supposed to compare yourself to anybody else when you're taking this quiz. And there's actually a link below that you can take it yourself, and it gives you some insight on your progress, like ideas for like becoming the better version of you, right? The best version of you. That's self-actualization. So, what else? This is really for everybody because since our educational system was instituted, you know, when my grandparents were young, you know, I went through a period, and I think every 30-year-old does. They go up to 30, 35, whatever. You're like, oh, it's my parents' fault. It's my grandparents' fault, blah, blah, blah. You know, you always want to blame somebody. Well, this is why. And the reality is that we all just have been indoctrinated and not given all the information for a better life, for our self. So, like, I have that save the world kind of vibe, but I did realize that I needed to save my own world. And so I did in so many ways. In 2017, I drove 3,000 miles across the country with 3 teenagers, $3,000, and we moved into a 3-bedroom townhouse 20 minutes away from the Gulf of Mexico. And literally created heaven on earth. So there's so much that I could go on and on and on and talk about. But so below, or like in this video, like you can look at the description, and there are links for the core inventory, for the online course, which is free, and it has audios, so if you wanted to just listen to the audios and not have me interfering with it. And then there's some materials like the core self-inventory on paper, or like on a PDF, so you can like follow along on that, because you can just do it with your hands too, you know, write it. And there's also the schedule, because we're on week 4, day 2, and there's 12 weeks. So I invite you to, if you have missed out on the first 4 weeks, they're between, I'd say, an hour to an hour and a half. Videos where I'm giving personal experience, insight, and wisdom as a grandmother. And I do have a psychology degree. And I also have extensive Bible trained conscience and knowledge. So, can I start over for you? You're going to have to wait until this video propagates tomorrow. So, what else? There's also a Facebook group where we can all share positive memes and knowledge to help each other rise. Like, I like to when I identify people or companies or anything that have a conscious capitalistic framework for their business, or people who are giving back, like certain figures who have money and they're like doing good things. I like to share those to like be like, hey, let's be like this guy. Or anything innovative and like, you know, exiting the matrix. So also, if you are moved to support me on this journey of sharing knowledge for generations, for the future generations, for your family and whoever you talk to, and there's a link that you can support my work on my website below. All right. And don't forget or remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment. I'm going to get into the reading in a moment, but I'm just going to check out the comments. You like my interference? Okay, well, the first 4 chapters were getting into socialization and the matrix, how I define it. It's personal matrices, like getting out of relationships, or it's getting out of a job you hate, or something very tangible, practical like that. But it's also getting out of mentalities and like social structures that we've been conditioned to like just follow along, because people like to feel included, and once you like attempt to get out then there's a lot of lashback, and now you're the black sheep and blah blah blah, you know. But it does take gumption to be authentic to and true to yourself, because lots of people are like in a religion that they really don't believe in, but because their whole family is, they stay. So and then it was personal, so self-love, self-acceptance, understanding how that you, the personality is developed pretty much, I think it's like 85% by the time you're 5 years old. So looking at how your personality was developed during that time, which can be challenging, but you can talk to people, and you know, let's see, then influence, like as you're aging, like who is influencing you, and then what was the next one? Spiritual is not getting into religion. I mean, that is part of spirituality, but spirituality is really your experience, your personal experience of spiritual things. And so I break that down, and then spiritual, let's see, what else did I go over? Spiritual practices, energy. God is energy. So whatever, like everybody, there's over 4,000 religions in the world. So, and if you are raised Christian, you're pretty much probably going to die a Christian, because of that inclusivity, where you don't want to lose your whole entire family. And that's what I experienced, because I left the religion of my youth, and I got excommunicated by everybody, including my mother. So tough times, but I'm true to myself, and sayonara. Not that it was easy. It was not easy. But I'm happy to be not a Jehovah's Witness. Thank you. Hello. Am I okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Breaking a matrix is breaking out of a life rut. Yeah, yeah. Like if you're, midlife crisis, or you got divorced and you've lost yourself. I don't know if I'm going off. Yes, getting out of a rut, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Okay, I'm gonna read this, and let's see. It's exercise your brain and mindfulness and meditation. I'm gonna break between is only 92 to 96, so it's only 4 pages. So bear with me. It's important. Okay, exercise your brain. Oh, yesterday I was explaining, and I tell this to everybody. I'm like, when I was a teenager, and I would be reading something, and I'd be like, I don't get it. What is it? I don't comprehend. Literally. Close the book. Oh, I have a learning disability. Guess what? It took some time. I found something I was interested in. It was actually the Bible. And probably because of the passion I had for goodness in the Bible, that I delved deep into it, and it activated my brain. And so I don't have a learning disability, but our society is really good at like labeling us and not saying, well, hey, maybe you should read, maybe you should write, maybe you should draw, maybe you should do something with your brain, because your brain is a muscle. And just like if you're trying to build arm muscles, if you're not moving them, it's not going to fully develop. So I got into that too. Like the age that your brain is actually fully developed, because the frontal lobe takes more time, is different for everybody. But in general, it could be for men. Like they even have statistics on for men and for women. But the bottom line is the brain is the brain. So you could be 25, you could be 45. It all depends on the good things you're doing with your brain minus the negative things you're doing to your brain. So it's really a personal evaluation. However, I went to the chiropractor once, and they had this whole room set aside for like brain scanning. I didn't do it, but I really wanted to. But they scan the brain, and they probably could tell you like what your brain development is. Okay, I'm gonna get into this. Well, if you think you have a learning disability, all I'm saying is, if you stick around and you hear this whole course, you're gonna understand that you have the power to heal your brain. And it's just understanding neurons and how they work. And I actually went over that yesterday with neuroplasticity. Like our society says, old dog can't learn new tricks. Fucking lie. Sorry for my language. It infuriates me, the idiocy that is being taught to people. They're not teaching the truth. So, I mean, everyone has to learn at their own rate, their own pace, and that is true because we're all at different levels. Like 135, like I'm 54. I could meet a 54-year-old who doesn't know a lot of things. Or I could meet someone 54 and they know freaking way more than I do. It doesn't matter. So, we're all put in boxes. Ugh. I'm against that. Okay, I'm going to read this. You exercise your brain by using it. Thinking, playing, creating, learning, contemplating an idea, brainstorming, reading, meditating, and physical exercise are great for your brain. Using your brain is exercise, and it is especially important for optimizing your brain's capacity. Our brain is more advanced than a very complex computer. But if we were to just use the notepad on the machine, we would not be using our brain to its fullest capacity. Think about that. Do not waste your brain. There is so much to explore in this world. What will you seek out to learn? What do you aspire to do with your brain? What are you interested in that you have never explored? What have you forgotten about that you never did for some reason? Think back to when you were young, or a time when you felt happy and wanted to become a certain profession. Maybe you can spark that inner child and learn now. It's never too late. It has been perpetuated that humans only use 10% of their brains. However, there is no proof of this. The brain is powerful when you tap into it. There are many sites and apps that provide daily brain activities that will help you exercise your brain. The article entitled 22 Brain Exercises to Improve Memory, Cognition, and Creativity provides a great list of brain exercise ideas. Meditation, visualization, playing games, card games, crosswords, puzzles, Sudoku, chess, checkers, video games, socializing, learning new skills, increasing vocabulary. When you find a word, I do this still to this day. If I hear a word, even if I think I know what it is, I'll pull the dictionary out, or I'll just be like, hey Siri, what does this mean? Because sometimes we think we know what a word means, and we kind of get it, but there's like, it's just being open. Like, what is it gonna hurt to like ensure you understand what a word means? And that's how you increase your vocabulary. Learning a language, listening to music, learning a musical instrument, engaging hobbies, regular exercise, dancing, sports, tai chi, sleeping. I'm sure the list goes on and on. There are also beneficial brain These are also beneficial brain development activities. Creating music, singing, doing research, building something using wood and tools. Writing, drawing, doing math, communication, doing a variety of activities regularly, daily, will stimulate, protect, nourish, and improve your brain's abilities. Which activities above do you regularly engage in? Which ones do you excel in or want to improve? What activities stimulate your brain to strengthen it? Circle the ones that you want to learn and or start doing more regularly. So, yes, if you're not using your brain, in fact, we're in a social media dilemma where our children, because I was not raised doing this, so now our children, what is it called? Brain rot. Your brain is literally turning into brown mush. So, we need to get our kids to be doing things, because don't trust the school to be teaching your kids. That is the truth, and it's sad. Because parents or teachers really don't have time to like pay special attention, especially I'm talking about public school. They have too many kids, So parents really need to, use school if you have to, but they are not actually teaching your children everything that they need to know. And doing these activities with your kids would be absolutely wonderful for both of you. Not only to help you bond, but also help both of you improve your brain's ability. I'm going to see what you guys are saying. I'm in Tampa. I play chess too. It's fun. I play it on my phone. Okay, mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness is the state or quality of being in the present moment. So, I'm here right now. I'm focused mentally, emotionally, just everything. I'm here. Okay? So, if I weren't, I could be like thinking about some other thing. You could be at a party and you're over in the corner. Do you think you're present? No. You're not. You're physically there, but you're not actually there. All right. Mindfulness is a state of or quality of being in the present moment, to be mindful, attentive, and with intention and purpose. It is important to live in the present moment, the right now moment. It means you are completely aware of everything going on inside and outside of you. One key to understanding mindfulness is to recognize that when you are in an emotion mind without logic and are dwelling on the past, which can lead to harsh self-talk and depression, or worrying about the future, which leads to self-doubt, stress, and anxiety, you are not living in the present moment. Others around you are wondering where you are, even while you're sitting right in front of them. Insight to being mindful. You cannot change the past. You can only change yourself to become a better person for the future. You cannot change anyone else. You can forgive yourself and others. You can end relationships with anyone that is out of alignment with your true self. After you process your feelings, you can release and dissipate all negative thoughts and emotions tied to the issue and let it go. Take time to process inner thoughts and emotions when you are alone and do not have responsibilities to tend to. Practice mindfulness meditation. You can be in the now by making a conscious decision to meditate on the past or think about the future as at appropriately designated times. Thoughts impact emotions, emotions impact thoughts. So last week I talked about neuroplasticity, which is the fact that I'm going to draw a little picture because it's fun. Okay, class. No, when I was in elementary school, I used to have a front porch, and all the little kids in the neighborhood would come over, and I was the teacher. Okay, so here's an example, and there's a video online that I do share in this book. But like, okay, let's say you have a really negative thought, right? And you keep thinking it, look, it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. You are making that an automatic, I hate myself. You don't even have to think I hate myself. You just hate yourself. Now, if you want to stop that, what you do is, you go over here. You go, ding, oh, I just thought it. I hate myself, or anything that has to do with hating yourself. You had a thought, okay? When you have that thought, you have to immediately go over here and go, I love myself. Love myself. I love you. Okay? If you are like, I hate myself, I hate myself, I hate myself. Oh, no, I don't. I love myself. I hate myself. I love myself. Okay, the more you say I love yourself and catch it, okay? Now this one is going to get stronger, and then this one literally disappears because you're not giving it energy, and then this one becomes automatic and you don't have to think it anymore. That's neuroplasticity. That's a very simple example, and I did this because I used to talk shit to myself all the time. You're horrible, you're this, you're that, blah, blah, blah. Internally. And this is why I'm so passionate about what I'm teaching, is because I have a psychology degree, bachelor degree. They did not teach me that. I learned that all by myself. I was just laying in bed, like, having negative thoughts, and I started changing my thoughts, and then that literally happened within me. And so you can do it with anything. Fear. We're going to get into the emotional dimension coming up, next week. So that one, I'm going to get into all of that emotional stuff. But mental has so much to do with it, because you feel things in your body, you're thinking things, whatever. I believe I'm getting my point across. So, emotional intelligence is also important when you want to change thought patterns, since our thoughts have a huge impact on our emotions and vice versa. Our physical, emotional, and mental aspects are involved in how we feel. The following information will clear a lot of confusion about thoughts, feelings, and emotions and how they work together. Thoughts. Here's a test. What is your next thought going to be? The result is that you don't know until you think it. Therefore, it is not literally you. It is more like an inner guide that is trained by your conscience and wired within your brain. You can force yourself to think something, but in general, thoughts come and go, and we don't plan them unless we are purposely trying to change our thoughts or memorize something. Emotions, these are words that describe feelings that we experience in our bodies. When we are triggered positively or negatively, it is possible to experience many emotions at the same time. Feelings, these are physical sensations that are felt in the body when we think something or get triggered, both positively and negatively. Here's an example. When someone does something that we don't like or hurts us, we get physical sensations within our bodies. Sensations include getting a knot in your throat, and I need to get a drink. Getting chills all over your body, on your skin. Getting a pounding headache. Getting the urge to run away. Feeling pain in one's stomach. Feeling pain in one's temples, or the forehead, or your heart. These feelings are usually very comfortable and could stem back to previously unresolved traumas. Each new incident strikes a nerve like never before. This would be a post-traumatic stress response. So, when I wrote my autobiography, I started from conception. Like, what do I remember that was traumatic? And this is really a venting book. I processed all of the things, because when you don't process them, and I'm probably going to say this soon but in the book, but when you don't process things, you're literally creating a train. So like, you have train, you know, all these different box, cars, whatever. And without processing those, now you're over here, and it's like, the issue really stemmed way back here. So then you might not even remember why you're triggered, why you're reacting, because it's so deeply ingrained in it for years and years, right? So it's important to resolve your traumas, which are actually stored in your fascia, in your body. So we get into that. I'll get into that in the physical core dimension. But all of this information I'm sharing is like, okay, foundation, building, to understand all the layers. And this is basic. There's even further beyond what I'm talking about. Okay. Your emotional intelligence or emotional quotient, you can actually take a test to see where you rate, will determine how you respond or react in various situations. When thoughts come in at lightning speed, we will choose how we will react or respond. Thoughts are very powerful, so what we believe will seriously impact whether we hit someone, send a letter demanding an apology, or just brushing it off, or actually just forgiving them on the spot. How well are you able to manage your thoughts and reactions to others? Have you ever tried to stop a bad habit? You learned how to change unwanted thoughts in the beginning of this chapter. Everything depends on how much you want to change your thoughts and how much you practice. The more you practice, the better you will achieve anything. So here is a 20-minute mindfulness meditation. And if you want to do it right now, you could, or you can just listen. The following information explains what to do in a mindfulness meditation. Observing what you are thinking and feeling without judgment is key. Be still. Let everything flow through you, both in and out like air when you breathe. Pay attention to your breath. It takes practice, but when you do it regularly, you will become a master. Be patient with yourself. Step 1. Lay still on your back with your eyes closed in a quiet room. Do the box breath exercise. Take a deep breath for 4 seconds. Hold it for 4 seconds. Release it for 4 seconds. Hold it out for 4 seconds. This helps you get inner calmness. Imagine breathing in love from the universe and exhaling everything that does not serve your higher purpose or something specific. Wiggle your toes while doing the breathing exercise and imagine the weight being lifted off each part of your body. Start with your feet, then your ankles, your calves, thighs, stomach, chest, throat, neck, face, and head. Pay attention to the sounds around you, especially your breath. If it's too noisy or chaotic, wear earplugs and listen to the silence. Silence is really key. Focus on what is happening at this moment. When your mind wanders to the past, future, or anything outside of this meditation, push it out and refocus on your inner self and your breath. This is a general mindfulness meditation that can be used as a foundation to build on. There is an abundance of meditations online which you can choose. And I actually, so in 2015, I'm done with the reading. In 2015, I came across a meditation, a guided meditation that really works for me. So yeah, if I ever feel kind of like off, like, I'll listen to this meditation and it walks me through releasing like the tension in my body from my feet all the way up to my head. And when I'm doing it, it's like it brings me to a natural high, really. You can get dopamine from these activities. They make you feel good and they help you like relax and calm yourself. And then actually from a video I watched, it's funny, let's see, what was it called? Anime, no, it was, hold on, it was one of them, Avatar. Yeah, the Avatar, he's like explaining the chakras. And so it's the guru walking this boy, the Avatar, through the different chakras and releasing fear, releasing shame, releasing guilt, releasing heartache, releasing the lies we tell ourselves, and then releasing attachments. That's attachments. Oh, and releasing like we're disconnected. I believe in global consciousness. We are all connected in one way or another, and that's through frequency, which has a lot to do with the emotions, the feelings you're having in your body, what we resonate. So that was a lot of information, and if you want to share your experience or your feedback or insight, feel free. If you have questions, I'm here to answer them as best as I can. And I do not know how many people are in here, so if you want to let me know how many, somebody put a number, how many people are in here. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I'd like more people in here because I think this information is extremely valuable and it can help a lot of people. I believe in the sine wave of life. I don't know what that means. S-I-N-E. Is that a word? Well, thank you for being here. Sine wave? So, next week I will be talking about, or tomorrow actually, sorry. Tomorrow I will be getting into the mental core exploration and breaking free mentally. How to break free. Yes, things do go up and down. And our emotions are like waves of the sea. Sometimes they're calm and sometimes they're turbulent. And it's being able to ride the waves. And when you are mindful of what you're thinking, whether you are, you know, making the waves harder or calming, you know. And sometimes we do need to get into those harsher waves because there's a really good reason to be adamant, you know. If you're being disrespected or something, yeah, you need to, you need to be in those turbulent feelings. But I'm saying, like, I'm talking about like on your day to day, you know, we're gonna have issues, but on your day to day, your natural resonance, you know, can be calm when you've worked through all of the traumas that you've experienced in your life. And meditation is really important to do that, and breathing exercises. There's actually a whole bunch of different breathing exercises. I've seen people like do some crazy stuff. I don't see any questions. What do you mean? What questions have I not answered? What's the question? There is a delay from the time that you post something to me seeing it. You didn't see the question I asked. Do you know who this is? Yes, I know who you are. Yes, I do believe in manifesting. Manifesting, yes, I do. Yes, I have heard of the religion Islam. Of course. Do you have any questions in regards to the topic of exercising your brain, mindfulness, or meditation? I mean, how do you feel about yourself? If 10 is your ideal self, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you see yourself? Let me know. Thank you. Yes, it's important. It only took me 2 years to get on YouTube Live. Does anyone feel comfortable rating themselves in this on the core? Yes, 1 is low. Yes, 10 is high. 10 is your ideal self. The course is actually nice. Right. And that's fine. I mean, any answer is fine because we all grow at different rates, levels, etc. The course, there is, so I'm going to just go over the links. There are links to do the core self-inventory online. It gives you helpful feedback. I'm actually working on an AI chatbot that you can ask it a question and it'll be like, oh, what would Ayla say? And then, the links are, you can join the course for free. You can join the inner circle. There's space for 30 people. And I'm trying to find ways to help people and make an income. So I've thought about creating a container for 5 men and a container for 5 women to have a smaller container without the external noise, to really focus on the things that you want to work on to get transformational guidance. So I'm looking for anyone that's interested in joining those, and you can join the Facebook group. There's a link below. And if you feel called to support my mission, to get this information out there and help people get all the facts. And also, it's my birthday. So if you feel obligated, no, not obligated, if you feel moved to donate, there is a link below. So remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I thank you for being here. Anybody have any more questions before I go? That's good. Someone said I gained a lot of self-respect when I was able to deal with my addictions. Right? It's like being, thank you. It's like being, I mean, it's really facing your emotions and what's like stuck. It's in the facing them that you can actually process and then transmute the negative energy. And I say, dissipate. This really isn't about what I look like. Yeah. You don't have a drinking problem, you have a living problem. Yeah, I kind of have a problem with AA, how they're like, well, you're, what is it? I forget the word. You are, I can't think of the word. What do they say? Nope, my brain just went blank. Once you realize you have an addicted personality, you have to fill the void with positive things. So I got into this earlier in one of the week, or in the past 4 weeks. The labels that we're given. Oh, you were diagnosed with this. You were diagnosed with that. You are an alcoholic. That's the word I was trying to think of. You're an alcoholic for life. The brain is powerful enough to heal addiction. But we have been groomed to believe that the psychological and the medical industry know what they're talking about, when they really don't care, honestly, because if we lived in, it's not even a health care system, it's an illness care system. If they help you heal, they're not going to make any more money, are they? So that's what this course is about. I want you to heal. I want you to be your best self, for yourself, for your children, for your family, for your community, for the world. Based on truth and the power that you have. And honestly, a lot of this is just helping you remember. Honestly, who am I supporting? What do you mean, who am I supporting? I don't have children that are that I'm responsible for. I support myself. Okay, well, I'm gonna close this out because I'm not. There aren't any more questions coming in, and I appreciate you being here. Much love. I'm sending love everywhere around the world, everywhere that needs it, and I care about what's happening in the world, and I am just sending love to everyone. Have a blessed day.